Hey, it's Ivory. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm super excited because we do have medium Elaine Thorpe with us today, and she's actually going to be trance channeling her spirit guide Jonathan, who will be answering questions from my Facebook group Between Worlds and also my Instagram Astro Ivory. And so we're gonna go ahead and we'll jump right into it.
Hello.
Hey Elaine, how are you?
Alright, I'll just turn the camera on, hold on. I don't
Okay.
have it quite.
Did you want to talk a little bit about yourself before we get started?
I don't mind, you know, I can talk about how all this came about. So how this came about, when I was younger, I sometimes sat with my father in his physical circle. He was a physical phenomena medium back in the 1980s. And sometimes I got the opportunity to sit with him, and amazing things went on in there. And the trumpet had glow paint on it, and that used to fly around the room. And we got apports and direct voice, and the trumpet would come and touch us, and toys would land in our lap. My dad would levitate. All sorts of things happened. You know, it was all genuine going on, and from there I sort of grew up and had my children and went away from it, and nothing really happened until I was around about 38 years old, until I went on to this holiday to Ireland. And years before, back in 1995, my father-in-law had passed away, and we had a last night over at Ireland where he used to live. He moved back over there. And I said to him, can you make some communication? The children are asleep because they were only young then. And my husband then was in the bed beside me, and he was just drifting off to sleep. And I thought, well, nothing's going to happen. He's not going to communicate with me, so I'll just drift off to sleep. And I thought, well, I have missed him and I've enjoyed the holiday. And so I was just closing my eyes and relaxing. And I was sort of in a half sleep state, but still aware of my surroundings. And all of a sudden I felt my tummy pull in for some reason. It all happened so fast. And this voice seemed to bellow out of me. And I think it startled the kids, because they woke up and said, Mum, that was really loud. You scared the life out of us. But it seemed to be that he was trying to communicate through me to his son laying next to me. And it only lasted a few seconds, and then I sort of came round thinking to myself, what was that? You know, I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of trance. All I knew was my dad would go into a deep sleep and spirits would come through him, you know, and come into the circle. And I didn't know about trance and guides and all of that sort of thing. I had no idea, because he never really explained it all to me. All I knew was about the rules in the group, how to sit and what to do. So in haste, I called one of my mother and father's friends, and she was a hypnotherapist, and I didn't know this at the time, but she also ran a trance group, and so she gave me a lady's name, and she said she runs a group near to you. So she gave me the address. I turned up there one evening, and there was like a meditation class, and I thought, well, what's this all about? I'll sit here. And we went through the meditation, and we sort of got told where we had to go with the meditation. I didn't really take much to it. And so I came back to one of the trance group evenings, and this was my first time sitting. And I thought, well, this is nice. You know, not too far from home, all within walking distance. And I sat with them, and my gift began to come forward, but my guide didn't show up at the circle, and I didn't think anything of it. It didn't really worry me, because at that time I didn't know much about it. And my neighbour invited me in for a cup of tea, and she said, all my friends have gone now, so she said, can you do your trance thing? I said, well, I've only just started, really. I don't know much about it. I said, I'll give it a go. And it all began, and I can't remember what spirit came through or what they said or anything like that. And all of a sudden, at the end of it all, my guide showed up. And he said, well, I'm Jonathan, he said to my neighbour. He said, I'm Jonathan and I'm Elaine's spirit guide. And as he did that, I heard his voice, and he wasn't speaking as he does now. He was just speaking normally, using my voice normally, and I guess he had to learn how to speak like that. And when he came through, I felt like a whole feeling of complete unconditional love run through every vein in my body, and I felt happy, safe, and like I'd never ever felt in my life. And I thought, well, what is this? This is incredible. Where have you been? I love you, and I feel like I've known you forever, but I don't know you, and I don't know if you're real, but whatever you've just given me felt unreal, and I've never felt that before. So I continued to go to the weekly group where I'd started, and he started to come through a bit more, and it was a little bit sort of kind of like I said before, a bit robotic at first. No expression in what the voice was, so I assume he had to learn over time. And so all the spirits, other spirits began to come through, and my twin began to come through and stuff, and they started giving little pieces of evidence here and there. And then they all got so excited they wanted to come through. So my lady that was sort of teaching me at the time, she said, well, we'll let you go away from the circle because these others want to learn. So I got a bit upset about that.
Aww.
Kind of went away. I started my own circle. It started up in my friend's house. And he agreed to have his room upstairs, and we'd all sit there, and people came and went, and that went on for 6 years. And in between that, a lady looked after me. She got taught what to do by my mum's friend, and she took the circle on after my mum's friend got ill. And she still runs the circle now once a fortnight for me to keep going. But it's at her house now, things moved on. And then after that, it was strange because I accidentally came across something online, and it was a place called Guiding Angels. And I thought, oh, what's this? It was like an agency for genuine mediums that they could join it, and they would pay a fee. And I thought, oh, okay, this sounds intriguing. So I messaged her, and her name was Alison, and we went over to her house, and I went into trance, and she said, wow, you can join our agency, And I didn't really get much work from it. Like here and there, I had groups one time that I would sort of come together with, and they would go into trance, and I felt a bit nervous about it, about teaching and getting them to come in and out and that. So I just did it the once,
Mm-hmm.
And then I would do things like little demos for her, and I thought, well, this is good. I'm really enjoying this. And then it sort of faded back a bit. So I ended up going on some telephones, a public telephone company to do for my guide to come through. And it seemed a little inappropriate, really, for what I was doing, but I did it. And I must have done it for a year or two. And he said, well, he come into my mind one evening, sitting there waiting for a call. And he said, you won't need this much longer. I said, well, why is that? And he said, well, just trust me. You won't need it much longer. You are going to go further. We need to spread your wings a little bit. And so he made me go on the live camera. We didn't make me. I saw the live camera, and I was so nervous. And I thought, shan't I? This is all new. I'll give it a go. And I went on there once, and I thought, well, that it was quiet, so I left it at that. And then I went on there again, and then the third time, it just went absolutely manic. I had people contacting me and asking me to go to their spiritual centres, and I thought, wow, this is just crazy. Everybody wants to know about my guide, and that's how I was brought to where I am today. But it took me so many years to trust him. I thought that it was some sort of altered ego. I thought, is it me just making it up? And so many people do think that in trance. So that's that's how I came to be where I was. It took a lot of trust. He had to prove himself to me over and over again about who he was. He had to give evidence, and that was wonderful. I've gradually learned to feel so safe with him anyway, because I thought, well, if I felt so safe when he first came through, why am I not feeling that certainty now? So that's why he had to prove himself, and I think a lot of mediums want that. They want the proof, and once it can take years and years, and you still get little doubts in your mind every now and again.
And that's natural.
So yeah, and that's a natural human instinct, is to question something and to analyse it, or to sort of research it a little bit more. I think we're so visual, we want everything in front of us, and if it's not in front of us, we can't see it. We tend to question it and not believe it, we think it's coming from our own minds. But he said to me, well, we have to use your mind, because you're part of the equation. You're part of where we start. We have to use your mind, because we're coming through you and impressing things on your thoughts to communicate. And if without your mind there, we can't do it. You see, you couldn't sit with a person that had no mind or no thought. We have to come through your thoughts, and we use part of your thoughts to create words and things, what we want to say. So we have to use a human body, and we either communicate through the mind, or we take you into a trance and come in further. So this, how they communicate with our world, they send us signs. And so I was in my friend's car one day, and we were driving down to Portsmouth, and we had a little demo there at this place, and we got about 3/4 of the way there, and I turned my head to the right. I just happened to glance to the right. It was the other side of the motorway, the highway you would call it, and this lorry had his name on the side of it. And I thought, what's that? What have I just seen? I've just seen my guide's name on the side of a lorry in huge letters covering the whole side of the lorry. It was a great big lorry as well.
He's like, I'm here.
Yeah. It was letting me know he was around. He sent me so much proof. So a couple of times I've gone to do demos down at London at their little shop, and each time I went there, he'd send me signs. He did it 3 times. I glanced over to the right in the car, just looking around as you do, glanced over to the right in the car, and what should I see? His surname, Hunter, on a digger. I thought, this is crazy. And we got into London. Of course, he was born in London at those times, and my stomach started having all butterflies in it. I felt all the feelings that I'd got that he first gave me when I first communicated. He first communicated with me, and that's sort of feelings I got. It's incredible.
Oh, wow. So he was actually trying to give you validation as well, just to let you know, hey, I'm here. This is real.
Yeah, yeah. He's only ever been into my dream once. He did show me himself, and it was so clear. It only lasted very briefly.
So you actually see, so you know what he looks like then.
Yes, yeah, I know what he looks like. He's around about. He's got a picture of him here. He's around about 6 feet tall. His hair's parted in the middle, kind of behind the ears, with a little black bow at the back of his head, very small bow. He's got a kind of a black long-tailed jacket with high-waisted trousers that they wore in those times, and a cravat. And his face is quite, he's got quite high cheekbones, kind of pale blue eyes, and quite a slender face. Very slender man, very upright.
What era do you think he is from?
He's Victorian. He's Victorian.
Wow, awesome. I also wanted to ask you, what does it feel like when your voice is changing into a male voice? Like, what does that feel like for you?
I'm used to it now, but when it first started happening, it happened over a gradual process. A little bit like a teenager's boy's voice going into a man's voice. It kind of, my friend Pam, she used to say, well, it looks like his voice is breaking, because it kind of matured, and it would go a little bit high, and then it would go drop low, and then it stayed low. So it happened over a gradual period of time, and it didn't hurt my throat or anything. It didn't hurt, because normally with a woman, if you tried to speak like a man, the muscles would be hurting, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I would think
They would
so.
be strained, and it would really hurt your voice box or your throat. Well, there's no pain there.
That's so cool because it's like your voice, like the way that you're speaking to me right now, is completely different from when Jonathan came in. And so when he came in, I was like, I was like, whoa, because it was so different. It was amazing.
Yeah, it is. I kind of listened back to myself a few times. I got used to it now, and I thought it does still seem a bit like weird, strange, and can't quite get my head around it. You know, you feel. And even when you go into a state of trance where your voice isn't there, it's not really you. It's like you can see it's genuine, because when they come through and speak the words differently, they kind of put their words differently to what you would put them. And it's something you would describe and how you wouldn't describe it. So you can see when the person's in trance and the spirit comes through, it's sometimes they are completely different personality to yours, and you can see that it's not that person's normal behavior.
Do you feel different as well? Like, do you feel more like a guy when he's in your
Yeah,
body? Like,
I do. I feel his face over mine, like a kind of a veil of a face. And he's so gentle, and I can feel his chest, I can feel his arm movements. It's like he covers the whole of me. I can still function. I can still move my feet about if say I felt a bit of cramp in my foot, or your feet was aching, I could still slightly move my feet about. Some people in trance will be completely and utterly still, but then others won't, because my dad used to go into a deep trance where he didn't know nothing, but sometimes you would hear him cough. And another friend of mine, he goes into deep trance, but he still puts his hand to his mouth to cough, but he has no idea he's done it, because he's completely gone from himself. He doesn't know anything.
so just so I'm clear, so is it kind of like, did you mean like the spirit is coughing, so the body is trying to cough as well?
Well, it's like my friend Alan. He went in, and I said, "Where do you go when you go into your trance?" So he said, "I go into deep trance, and I don't know anything or hear anything." I said, "It's so weird." I said, "How that is possible, because I can hear my guide." And he said, "Well, they take me into a room, and it's like a lit up room, like a little waiting room, and they play violin music to me. And when I come back, they just send me back into the room. I just wake up." And I said, "How do you feel?" He said, "Well, I feel at peace, and the violin music's lovely. I just feel completely as I should feel." But when he was in the trance, there was lipstick on his face and eyeshadow on his eyes. I thought, that's crazy. I can see, and he was talking a little bit feminine. So I thought, wow, that's incredible.
Oh wow. So when you say you saw lipstick and eyeshadow, was that from like your third eye, or did you like physically see like the lipstick and eyeshadow on his face?
It might have been. It was. I was in the room watching him as he went into trance, and I could see the lipstick form, and I thought his lips look a little bit red. Oh my goodness! It's like he's got blue eyeshadow on. How you kind of go like that, and you think, is this real? I could see it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you could actually like you could see it, like physically, like how we're talking right now.
I could still see Alan sitting in the chair. I could see that forming over his eyes and lips.
Oh
I
wow.
thought he's got makeup on.
Okay, awesome, awesome, very cool. It's okay with you. We can go ahead and start answering some questions from my Facebook group Between Worlds, and also my Instagram account Astro Ivory. Well, actually, I know last time you had to take a few minutes to go ahead and let Jonathan come through, and is that what we're gonna do right now as well?
Yeah, if you wanted to. I mean, he's quite willing to come through any time. He's there waiting with me.
Yes, let's do it. We'll start from my Facebook group first, and whenever you're ready.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Good afternoon to you, my dear. Good afternoon.
Hi, Jonathan. Good afternoon to you as well. How are you?
I'm nothing other than fine, thank you. Yes. It is good to be joining you.
Good to be joining you as well. I'm really excited. I loved my reading with you last time, and I just had to have you on my show. So thank you so much for coming.
You are most welcome.
Awesome. So I actually wanted to go ahead and ask you some questions from my Facebook group and also my Instagram account. And so the first one is actually going to be from Holly. And as you know, with what I do, I do deal with a lot of alien content, and a lot of well, maybe not a lot, but some of these questions will be from significant extraterrestrial others of some of my Facebook friends here. And so Holly is actually asking about Jim, who he's actually he is an extraterrestrial. So the question is, I would love to know when Jim is coming home and when we may be married. And that's the first part of her question.
Yes. It is not necessarily a marriage, so to speak. I think it is more of a union, isn't it? A union of unconditional love and understanding. And were you saying about this outer being connection? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, so technically she is with this person, but she just wants to know, I'm thinking, when I guess they're going to be having this union.
In a very short time. I think that it will be before the end of the earthly year. I'm not going to pinpoint a time, of course, because I do not exist by time, but before the end of the year, yes.
Okay, before the end of the year. Okay, great. And then also the second part of her question is, also I'm hearing over and over that he is my twin flame, but I just don't feel that incredible connection and love everyone's talking about. Is that because we are not married yet?
No, I think that sometimes you will have connections with souls, be they on the earth or in spirit. But it is not always that twin soul connection. What it is a deep soul connection, perhaps through many lifetimes that you have connected in. And when you meet up with that person in an earthly sense or in a spiritual sense, you can feel the deepness of that soul connection through many lifetimes. When you have a twin soul connection, you will instantly feel that the deep and unconditional love, as Elaine was explaining to you earlier on.
Okay, great. And also she is asking, sorry, one second. She wants to know what's in store for her for 2019.
I think that she will be working on her development spiritually, you see, and there is in store for her. I do really see that she will start making progress with that, and she will want to concentrate on that. But as for her earthly life, what I see is her moving and traveling, you see, moving and traveling throughout different places, and I see that she will be gaining experience through her traveling. I see that she is a very inquisitive person, so it is wanting to know a lot of information, but I think moreover than anything, she will want to research things a little more this year. So the awakening that is happening with many people is she is part of it. So this year we'll be concentrating on that side of it.
Actually, there's one more question from her. I would like to ask what the purpose is or the lesson in being aware of Jim's existence, and then in parentheses, twin flame, but being unable to see/hear or experience him in any way. What is the purpose of the profound frustration of never remembering or experiencing him consciously?
I think that when he is ready, he will make himself clearer to her. And when she is ready to receive and understand and trust is needing to come from her, then that connection will happen. But I think that he is waiting until she is in the right frame of mind and place in time, in divinity of time, for him to make that more clearer connection with her.
What is the purpose of her being or feeling this feeling of frustration or never remembering him or experience him consciously? Is there like another purpose to that, or it's just him waiting until she's ready?
I think that part of it is waiting until she is ready, and the other part is trying too hard, wanting too much. If she was just to let it go and let it happen naturally, then she would get the experience that she wanted.
Great, thank you. And let's go on to the next question. And for Sheila, I would love to know when I can be with Blue in the physical again and how I can remember it all.
He will make communication through the mind, through meditation, and she needs to ask him to come forward. And then she needs to let go, you see, and not try too hard, and then he can make a connection with her. So between 2019 and 2020, they are some very important times coming up. A year is just a number to us, but the time is coming for the greater connection between you, your world, and our world.
And so within that time frame, do you think that's when she's going to be able to be with Blue physically again?
I think that when you are talking about being with him physically, it is more or less through dream state in astral travel or through out-of-body experience. And those are the two ways that you can connect with him. The most easiest and simplified way is to do it in sleep state when you are in astral travel from the body. And he will meet her again in that state of mind.
And so how about physically, like body to body?
It is an experience that will be brief, put it that way. It would not be every day where she could walk about in the street with him, as it's not going to be possible. It is going to be a brief encounter.
Why is it going to be brief?
Because that's the way he wants it. He says, I do not wish for it to be on an everyday basis. I am in my world, she is in hers. I live in a different way. I am not prepared to live in the human experience. I am living in a different existence.
Okay.
So he says you cannot have cross purposes where I would suddenly become a human. It's not what I wish to do. I will connect with her in many ways, but I would do it in a way that she would see me in the physical, but it would be brief. Sometimes those brief moments are better than a permanency of existence on the earth, isn't it? It's a brief moment she would appreciate more. She would appreciate that because she would hold it in her mind.
What if she goes there? What if you take her there?
I'm not going to take her there. She would leave her physical body in an out-of-body experience, and if her mind in that state chose to take her there, then the experience would happen. But she would not be going to their world. She would not be going there physically. She would be meeting him in a form of an astral state.
And why can't she be there physically?
Because they are living a different existence to us, which they are not always wishing to show you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. And okay, so let's go ahead and go to Patricia. I'll admit I'm curious as to what the year holds for me, and if Matt wants to say something I can't hear him say myself. And when she talks about Matt, she's talking about Archangel Matthew.
Oh yes. The angels are highly evolved beings. They have no need to incarnate in the physical, although sometimes when they're going to save a person, they will appear briefly as a human being, and then when their job is done, they will go back to the spirit life. You will see someone perhaps in physical form very briefly and think, well, I've turned around, they have gone. That is the existence of an angel coming to save somebody. Or sometimes they will appear in photographic pictures where they will appear as light, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, an angel can come to visit. That is very, very possible. It is of a rare occasion, but they are able to do that.
Are there any messages from Matt to Patricia?
He is saying that she is to develop her gift and to trust and give herself time in order to come forward with it. There are many messages that I will give to her, but she is asking for prayer and protection. Yes, I will give her that. And I am giving my love, and she is receiving an abundance of that. But I want her to start to believe in herself and to understand that she is just as entitled to be somebody as anybody else would be. So he is asking her to believe in what she is receiving and trust in it.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Is there anything else Matt wanted to say?
Well, he is saying that somebody in the family has been needing some healing lately. He says that he sees a hospital visit here, but nothing to worry about because it is like a routine hospital appointment. But he says he is sending healing to them, and who he means.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, cut off just a little bit. What was that last portion?
It will be that she will know who he is talking about, where the healing is concerned.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, thank you. And okay, so let's go to Beth. And also similar type of relationship as with Holly and Sheila in regards to her relationship with Micah. She's wondering if he is still interested in a relationship. And she said, I haven't felt him as much. Also, if the energy I've felt is healing energy from him.
He is saying to her that he is trying to get her to let things go. Old memories that are emotional, and that you no longer need to attach yourself to the emotional part of the memory, but looking back at the memory and seeing it as a little movie here and letting the emotional state of it go. He says that she has things that she needs to let go, and every human being has something they need to let go in life, but you will do it in your own time. And he is saying that he's going to take her to the spiritual summerland, like a beautiful garden where there is a a lake and beautiful things there, flowers, and he will take her there at one point and give her some healing and then send her back. She will wake in the morning feeling quite refreshed and enlightened.
That sounds beautiful. And so he does still want a relationship with her then?
I think that the relationship is more of a spiritual sort of relationship, isn't it? It's beautiful. Do you understand?
Because I don't want to say, I'm just wondering, is there something else Micah wanted to say in regards to their relationship?
I think that the relationship is one of a beautiful relationship. It is close, put it that way. And things are improving.
Okay. So also the energy that Micah gives her, is it healing energy?
Yes, it is, yes.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. And let me see who else we have here. Okay, and so this is for Ashley. She's wondering, I would love to know what my ultimate soul's purpose is. Also, what does 2019 have in store for me?
Well, I think that there seems to be, again, there is study of mediumship here. And again, with these, a lot of mediums that are writing, a lot of people that are writing, I see her writing some sort of biographical thing about her life and experiences and about how she came to be where she is. So I see her traveling as well, another one that is going to be traveling. And she will travel for leisure. I see that. But there is also going to be an offer of a new job here, a new work coming to her, new experiences, new studying. That is going to come in around about between May and December, those times of change there. And I also want to say to her, her spiritual journey is coming along nicely. Everybody has a purpose in this world. We come in here to have the human experience. And the human experience of learning about unconditional love, empathy, and all of those sort of things. Loving oneself in amongst loving others is the difficult journey, but that is all part of it, you see. And we're doing it in a human experience. And as we live each lifetime, and as we overcome things in each lifetime, it may take many lifetimes to overcome certain issues that we bring in with us. As we do that, our soul is progressing further into the higher realms of spirit, and it may take eons of time to do that, but we will keep coming back and having the human experience in order to overcome certain human issues that we have. And we may have several traumas in each different lifetime that we want to overcome. And each time the soul starts to awaken on the human level, the human experience of the awakening, it goes further into the light. So her purpose here is to find the love for herself and understand that she is just as important as anybody else, but also to experience that awakening and understand that awakening inside of her. She has an important time here to help others to realize that as well.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Okay. Thank you. And so we're moving on to my Instagram. And this question is from Samarjeet S. He's asking about advice on his current incarnation and an individual that he's interested in. He said he's not really dating her, but feels a strong pull towards her.
I think that she is a woman that will keep him grounded. You see, I don't see anything too much of an intimacy with her to start with. It seems to be whereby the relationship will start to come close in divinity of time, and it will start off as a friendship and then work through into a relationship, you see. But he is a strong healer, and coming into this world to give many people healing. I do see that he seems to have already taken part in some of that, but it is getting more prevalent within him, and it is meditating, believing, understanding, trusting, all of those things in what he has the capability of bringing forward. So his journey is one of finding himself through his spirituality and believing in himself where the healing is concerned, because when he lays his hands upon people, they can feel the energy that comes from him.
Wow. So he's a healer.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Very cool. And okay, so let's go ahead and go to Amber C. What is the purpose of my current state of extreme anxiety?
Anxiety is something that is in the mind, and it is something that is brought on through trauma in life, maybe through passing of loved ones, or something that someone has said to you and you have stored it in the subconscious mind for many years or many months. And the person that is having the anxiety attack is feeling under threat. So the body builds up an adrenaline, and this adrenaline is ready for a fight, you see. And when you have fear confronting you, you have the adrenaline that comes into the body, and also it causes this adrenaline to make you feel as if you want to put up a fight, or you want to freeze, or you want to run away from the situation. And when anxiety arises, is the fact that your subconscious mind is feeding something into the logic state of mind, and it is saying, right, we are under threat now. We need to start, the brain needs to release the adrenaline, and we need to put up a fight. This woman is in trouble, so we need to put up a fight. We need to get the adrenaline. Then the adrenaline gives the feelings of fear, you see. It feeds the body, and with an adrenaline rush, you're going to feel hyped up. And so the heart may go faster, you may shake or sweat, you may feel dizzy, you may feel sick, you may feel breathless. And then it can either last for a long period of time, or it will pass and you will feel tired after that. And I think that at least 8 in 10 people of your world are suffering from these anxiety states that are all made from the subconscious mind and brought into the conscious mind. They are fear of judgment.
For her, would you say the main thing, would it be fear of judgment?
Yes, I think it would be. Because when you are feeling fear, you are wanting to run away from the situation. So you may think somebody is judging you for who you are, you see. Or, for instance, if you were to be fearing spiders, you would immediately run away from it, fear it, the adrenaline would pump through your body, and you would either freeze or run away. And it's almost of a similarity with the anxiety, you see, because fear is a form of anxiety. It's fear, and you want to run from it, or you want to hide from it. And so a lot of people with anxiety don't want to face things, and it usually stems from emotional states of mind, because fear is an emotion. And when you have fear, the emotion, you tend to want to hide from it. So there may be things in life that she hasn't yet faced up to, and she's sort of internally judging herself, as well as thinking that others are judging her. And so she needs to know that she is special, she is important in this world. She is just, as I say again, entitled to be in this world as anybody else is. And sometimes meditative states or hypnotherapy can help it, but it will only help it briefly before it may return to the situation again if you feel you are under threat again. So it is something to do with the subconscious mind that needs shutting off, switching off, and on a permanency, so you can start living a normal life again.
Okay, great. Thank you. And okay, so let's go to Hisham B. What should be my next action or path towards my purpose from the multiple skills I have acquired recently and the name of my spirit guide?
Yes, but it is Timothy. I will say to you that he is going to be the healing side of things. But he will do it in a way that is of a shamanic way, you see. You have many forms of healing, but they all boil down to the same healing, but it is done in different processes. And I see he has going to have a shamanic journey, and he is going to be a shamanic healer.
Very cool. And okay, so the next question is from Dory N. Is it necessary for me to change my work and help people?
I think that it has to come from a wanting to do. Everybody has a passion to do something in life. And if she feels or he feels that it is right, then yes, go for it. It is finding your true vocation and being your true self as to what you will do on the earth. And sometimes, it's not always of a spiritual measure. It may be a job that they particularly like and they feel happy in and feel rewarded in. But it is what you want to do, you see. It is finding the right vocation for you and how you feel about that.
Yes, it's definitely, and going towards your happiness.
Yes, true happiness. But of course, in your world, there are tests, and sometimes you have an off day. You're not always truly happy, are you? But you will overcome that and you will have happy states in your life. It is necessarily, it is trying to think on a more positive level so that you can experience more happiness.
Was there anything else for Dory N?
Well, I see a cleansing for her. What I see is a healing, a cleansing, and going into meditative states to do that. I see that she herself is able to do that. But I see poetry here also. I see poetry, writing poetry, spiritual poetry, and getting that out there. It is so, so beautiful. And this information is going to come from an angelic source. So, yes, I see her writing poetry.
Okay, awesome. From Stefan G. Will I achieve the goals that I've set out for myself? And are my personal spiritual beliefs correct?
I think that it has to come from the heart, doesn't it? You have beliefs, you see. Everybody has beliefs. In your world, there are conditioned beliefs, such as religion and things, and they are beliefs that everybody wants to have, and everyone has their own choice in which they want to believe in. But the truth is coming to your earth, and the greater connection is coming in so clear now, so strong, that a lot of people are going to be very surprised about this and very much awakened through this. If you feel that it is right for you, follow it. As long as it is good and of the light, then there is nothing wrong with it.
Great. Let's go to, let me see, Sharon. I'm not getting a last name initial, so I'm just going to say Sharon. What is the next step on my spiritual path?
It is finding the right place and the right sort of people to be around. I see that at this present time she has had to deal with some negativity in her life, some difficult problems, but she will learn to come away from that and not so much dwell upon the negative, but go toward the positive. And I think that she needs to be around some people that make her feel good, rather than being around this negative situation and dwelling upon it. And she is feeling sort of stuck in the middle of the moment and feeling rather stuck in her life. So she has a few harsh decisions to make, but the spirituality is there. And she's a very gentle soul, but she is easily upset. I think that she will start to put herself amongst the more positive spiritual people and stay away from the negative after a while. She will need to go back to the negative state to resolve the situation, but it's not that she is negative, it is needing to be dealt with. But I think that this year, come the sunshine, she is going to be having a wonderful time with new people that she meets.
Okay, and just a couple more here from Marie A. I asked my mom for a specific sign, but I never get it. A blue carnation flower like I used to bring her to the hospital.
Yes, I think that she will get that sign. Spirit do not exist by time, and sometimes they don't forget you. It's just that our way of living on the other side has no time zone. So many years may pass, your earthly time, and it would be like a blink of an eye to us, you see. So we would say, well, that looks like 2 minutes have gone past, and maybe 3 years had gone past, you see. So we have no sense of time. We don't have any concept of time. We know that you exist by time, and when you call us, we come to the light that attracts us to you or you to us. But we have no existence of time. So she will be building up a way to find that for you and to send you a sign, and she will send it in a bigger way than you can ever imagine. Maybe she is saving it all up for something really, really special for you, and I think that you will eventually find that. You will get it when you least expect it, when you least are looking for it, because the signs that I send to Elaine, she doesn't even know they're coming, and I will send them to her when she is in a state of, I would say, in a dreamy-like state, so to speak. When you are least paying attention to things, you will get that sign. So rather than craving for it and going looking for it, you will always see a sign when you are least looking for it.
Is there a message from her mother to her?
Her mother is saying, I haven't forgot you, darling. I love you so very much. I've had to let you stand back and deal with things, and I've had to stand back. But, you know, I will send you plenty of signs, and some of them I have sent, but you haven't noticed them because you've been dealing with other things of an earthly concept. But yes, don't go looking for my sign. Don't go working so hard at it. I will send it to you when you least expect it, and boy, will you love it, because you will be telling everybody about it.
Aww. The last question is from Damon E. And so he's saying it's more of a general question. For reincarnation, does it occur in a linear time frame that we are bound to on Earth? For example, a person dies in 2019 and reincarnation happens for that soul in 2035. Could that soul have reincarnation occur prior to 2019 in, say, 1940?
Sometimes a soul will pass to the spirit world, and they will reincarnate as quickly as 2 years of your earthly time, simply because they may have to come back and deal with unfinished business from the last life, or there are things that they need to overcome, and they want to come straight back and deal with it very quickly. But we may stay in the spirit world for hundreds of years before we come back and had a physical life again. It is the soul's choice, you see. They have to go over what they're going to be doing when they come back to the earth, and it takes a lot of sorting out, and they have to really want to come back, because it is a brave thing to do, to take up a human incarnation. But yes, we do not have time and spirit, as I've just explained to you. And so when you come into this world, you go back to being in your physical earthly time. But what you call in our world, everything happens in divinity of time. So everything is recorded and put into place, and then things can happen, you see. But there is no counting of time. There is soul's choice as to whether it wants to come back 6 months later or 600 years later. It doesn't make any difference. The soul will still progress on the other side as well as on earth.
Okay, alrighty. Well, is there a message that you like to give anybody watching, Jonathan?
Well, I would like to say that with the state that your world is in at present, there is going to be the huge awakening that is happening in your world right now. It is getting bigger and bigger. And we want you to take note of that. We want you to trust and understand and feel and sense what you are getting. And don't ignore it, because if it is out of your thought state, what you are thinking, if it is out of what seems like reality, and it is random, as you were just explaining, then you'll know that it is not you thinking it or doing it. It is coming into your mind because we will impress our spirit thoughts onto your physical thoughts. And then you will know that it is not coming from you as such. But we are really, I want to explain to you that the veil is thinning. And the greater connection between your world and ours, well, that is going to be out of this world, so to speak. It is going to get much more prevalent. And a lot of these things that are inexplicable, that are going on your earth, well, yes, they are the earth telling you things, and they are also the heavens coming close to your earth and letting you know that we are very close right now.
That sounds exciting. Can't wait. Great. Well, looks like we're all set. Jonathan, thank you so much. And of course, Elaine, this is amazing. I'm so grateful for both of you. Will you be coming back to join us, Jonathan?
Of course, yes, I come back with a regularity. I am much working alongside Elaine at the present time to help many people of the earth, but I have enjoyed my experience with you this evening.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed this as well. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan. You take care, and I'll see you next time.
God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Welcome back.
Feels weird when you've had your eyes shut for so long. Got to kind of make them work again.
Oh, are you doing okay?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Yeah.
Hey, that was great. Thank you so much for that. It was quite a bit. Do you usually trance him this long?
I've sat for about an hour and a half before. I once went to a church and I did a demo there, and it was really strange because you have no concept of time when you're under trance, none at all, and you forget about time altogether. And when I came back, they'd left me under. They'd enjoyed the evening so much they all forgot about time, and I'd been under trance for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So they asked me to come back, and when I opened my eyes, I literally thought that I was at home in bed, and I opened my eyes to find myself in this massive hall, and I thought, a few seconds, I thought, where am I? Where am I? I thought I was home in bed. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Was that exhausting for you?
No, I was fine. I had the best cup of tea ever. The only cup of tea I said, well, this is really what I need. This was the best cup of tea I'd had in ages. It tasted good, but I had no idea that I'd been under trance for 3 hours. None at all.
Oh my gosh. Wow, you're a trooper. That's amazing. I've heard of people like being in trance for, maybe like 45 minutes, like an hour, but I mean like 3 hours. That's a long time.
That's the longest I ever did, and they forgot about the time. They said, we are so sorry. We just enjoyed it so much that time went by. I said, well, I'm all right now, but I just woke up and thought I was in bed, and I thought, whoa, what the heck is that? I'm just in a massive hall full of people. Where did I go?
Oh, well, at least I think Jonathan had a good time then.
Well, what it is, the longer you're under, the greater control they have. The longer you're under, the more they blend with you, and the connection becomes stronger. So I'm not advising anyone to stay under trance for 3 hours. It's just that the more you move aside, the greater connection it can be, And sometimes when you're asking him questions, I'm drifting away. So he's probably, if I did drift away, he'd have to learn to connect with me all over again, because he'd have to learn to come through a new state of mind that I was in. I don't have any idea how that would work. He may be able to just speak through me as it is, but it felt weird, put it that way. I woke up and literally didn't know where I was for a second.
That's an amazing experience. Just trance channeling alone, I think that's like the coolest thing ever. I would love to be able to do that someday. Maybe if I work on it a little bit more. But
I think that when you're under the trance state, once you become used to it, it becomes so comfortable and so natural that you almost don't want to come out of it. You know that your body's still functioning, so you've got to wake up and function. They will send you back. It's just such a warm and comfortable feeling. And you know, my dad. It took 4 people to get my dad back once. 4 people had to convince him to come back to himself because he'd been sitting out of his body and sitting with my twin sister and my brother like they were alive and talking to them.
Aww.
And he cried. He said, "I don't want to come back. I want to go with them." But they said, "You know, Derek, you have to come back." And they took him a good while to get him out of it and bring him round. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I could imagine. Aww.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to keep you too long. I've kept you for about an hour and 16 minutes.
I've enjoyed it.
Me too. And if you're up for it, I would love to do this again sometime.
Yeah, I'll do it again sometime.
Do you maybe want to talk about a website or anything you have coming up?
Well, what I have coming up, I'd have to look on. I know on the 22nd of February, I have something on at the. I think it's. I can't think where it is now. It's not Gillingham. Can't think where it is, but it's sort of. It's got a spring to mind at the moment. Chatham. That's it. Chatham in Kent. I have they've got a spiritual weekend going on or something. It's like a trance and physical weekend where a lady's going to come in and explain to them how it happens. But I'm going to give a demonstration for them. But obviously I'll be sticking it up on my page about it. I'll stick the information up with Sandra's permission. I'll put it on there, so then they'll know where I am. Okay.
And did you also want me to include maybe an email address or maybe your Facebook? That way people can reach you if they want a reading?
Facebook, Elaine Thorpe, you know, just my Facebook page. My email I use, that's Elaine Thorpe 67@live.com if they wanted to email me. Probably, you know, because some people I've got people waiting on the friends list, about 800 odd people are waiting to come on my list, and I've got 5,000 on there, so some drop out sometimes. I don't know what happens, and if they just drop back because they haven't contacted me and they allow others to come in. But it sometimes slightly lessens, and I can add more people. So, you know, they're prepared to go on a waiting list. Go on it, you know.
Wow. I feel very blessed and honored to have this time with you. That's a long wait.
I know, and yet my bookings aren't years in advance like some mediums are. I spoke to one medium, her bookings were 2 years in advance. And I said, well, that doesn't happen with me. I just get booked through the month. That's it. I said, you don't know what's going to happen in 2 years. The person can forget. Unless they write it on a calendar 2 years ahead, which hasn't even been printed, then they've got to write it down and stick it on their fridge or on a wall because they forget. So I just get booked through the month. And then sometimes in advance with a demonstration. But that's how I get booked. So I'm not fully booked 2 years and 3 years in advance. I don't really see any point in that. You know, people just come to me as and when.
Man, I don't know if I could ever do 2 years in advance. I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. So
I know. That's what I mean. So I take each day as it comes. If they want to book at a certain time in the month, I've got space. They can go in it if they're available. You don't know what you're going to be doing in 2 years' time, do you? You know, anything could happen.
you don't know if we're going to be here in 2 years' time. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't plan to be going anywhere. I don't plan to be joining them for a good few years yet, but you don't know what you're going to be doing in 2 years' time. So much can change in that time.
Yeah, exactly. Elaine, thank you so much. I'll be sure to put in the information you gave me. I can actually put that into the comment box below as well. And I'll go ahead and include what you also said. And so yeah, it looks like we're good to go. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
There you are. I'll let you go because you're probably busy, and you have a good day. What's left of it.
You have a good day as well. And thank you so much once again. This is awesome, Elaine.
All right, I'll speak to you soon. All right, thanks for that.
Alrighty, talk to you soon. Okay.
Take care.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
In 2 years' time, so much can change in that time.
Yeah, exactly. Elaine, thank you so much. I'll be sure to put in the information you gave me. I can actually put that into the comment box below as well. And I'll go ahead and include what you also said. And so yeah, it looks like we're good to go. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Anyway, I'll let you go because you're probably busy, and you have a good day. What's left of it?
You have a good day as well. And thank you so much once again. This is awesome, Elaine.
All right, I'll speak to you soon. All right, thanks for that.
Alrighty, talk to you soon. Okay.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.